Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to Firearm Friday with my brother from the Fatatular Show and me from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter, both hanging out on the OG network, trying to make it happen, Captain.
Yes, on the OG network. Yes. Brother Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Like I say on my show, and I say it in person, your opinion matters. Just like that. Welcome everyone to Firearm Friday. I kind of like that new wording, and it sounds pretty much more nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the artificial intelligence don't get upset at us no more. And
Right.
don't be trying to buffalo our talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna do what we gotta do.
Yeah, I switched it up a little bit, which I like it better. It's a little more. It seems a little more settled.
Yeah. It rolls off the tongue very well, as Ralph Crandon was saying.
I was going to switch it. I was getting ready to say, instead of fire, I was getting ready to say Weapons Friday because sometimes I think we don't always have to be so much stuck on firearms because I started thinking about weapons, knives, swords, different things as opposed to just firearms or whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. Question.
If we go into other kind of weapons, I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm a big Forged and Fire fan. I'm so upset that they stopped that show. That show was
what show?
It's called Forged and Fire.
Oh yeah, I never watched every episode, but I have seen it before, man. I love the creativity, man.
The creativity is man. Wow.
I mean, when I do visit some gun shows, I see a lot of people that does knives and forged knives and stuff like that, and custom, handmade stuff like that. I'm a fan of stuff like that, man. I love to see individual creativity.
Right.
Even with the firearms, I mean, everybody buys their firearms and they get, but I like seeing when somebody just kind of how we buy cars. You buy your car. Now I want to make it a little more personal to me as opposed to just a firearm. You know what I mean? Just a car. The same way in firearms, like, you try to make it a little more personal to you. If you're a person that's into firearms to that level.
I want to piggyback off what you just said. When you buy a firearm and you create it to what you like, right. So here's a question for you, and I'm totally opposed to this. I don't like this idea at all. It's just, to me, I think it's really just naive of the person to do it. But to each his own. What do you think was the reason they decided to make certain weapons with different colors on it, like purple, pink, green? I mean, I gotta ask somebody who's into weapons. Firearms. We both are into firearms. We're both into those kind of weapons. I cannot see myself going over to the gun shop and be like, I want that pink one right there.
You might not. But one of those other ones might. All right. Now we on the humor side of this. Can you imagine if you get ready to get stuck up and somebody pulls out a pink weapon? Give me all your money.
You can't take the person serious by that.
I know. At that point, I'm like, man, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Like, how do you take someone serious when they pull out a pink pistol and say, "Give me everything you got"? Like,
you like,
are you looking for the elves? Are you looking for unicorns?
are you gonna rob me with a pink gun?
The intimidating factor is gone.
Wait. You erase like me, I'll be like, wait, hold on. I'll be calling people over, like, yo, come here, hurry up. Come here, hurry up. Look, y'all. I'm about to get robbed. He has a pink gun.
With a pink gun. We got pink bullets in it too.
Oh my god. You ever seen those car tires where when they burn out, they release the color?
Yeah. I seen those.
They gonna have pink gunpowder. Oh man, my chest hurt.
I'll be like, are we at a gender reveal party? I mean, like,
so am I gonna get pink smoke or blue smoke? Oh my goodness. Let's say you survive it, and you gotta explain to your friends, like, what happened, man? I had such the cutest robbery just happened to me.
You feel so bad you turn over everything. Say, here's my rings, my wallet, my phone. Listen, because this is gonna be a story that no one gonna believe. I got robbed by a pink gun.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That man, I got tears running out my eyes. That's so funny. Oh man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, y'all. Because we supposed to be talking about firearms, but somehow or another, we still talking about firearms. But what's up, Dover Dogs? What's going on, man? God bless you, man.
Everybody. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, in my mind, it was like, you don't think about that stuff when you see them in the store. You're thinking like, okay, maybe women wanted something a little more cute for their, to kind of match with their little carry purses and stuff like that. But in my mind, it's like, I just got robbed when somebody had a pink gun. Like, I don't know how I would feel about that. Like,
this is true. Better yet. What if it's a 6'4" dude that weighs 300 pounds pulling out a little pea shooter that's this color, pink, talking about, give me your money?
I smack that thing. Get that little thing out. You ain't hurt nobody with that, man. You could have just asked me for it. It would have been the same thing. You could ask me for the money. You got the same result. You more threatening just by your size. You don't need that little gun.
Exactly. I mean, that's freaking hilarious. Because I went to the gun and ammo store the other day, and I seen it. They had 4 of them inside the case. And I'm like, a 9mm, a 380. Okay. They had a 22.
Okay.
And a 40 cal, all pink. And I'm like, are they buying it to show it off, or are they buying it just to put it on the wall? Like, what is the purpose?
I see the what do you call it? The fashion statement, I guess they try to make out of that. When it comes to women, like a female wants something that's I don't know, man. I'm just stuck.
I'll give you another one. Go
ahead.
Even though I know this is kind of far-fetched, yet I do know it's been done. I've seen it. A gold gun.
Okay.
Whether it's gold-plated, gold-colored, gold-painted, but it's gold. Now, I still don't understand. What would be the purpose of trying to hold somebody up with a gold gun? The first thing was, Don't you got enough? Your gun is gold. Like,
right,
don't you have enough?
right. Like you gotta,
Oh,
you walking around with.
okay, Tomb Raider. You got to change your name to Tomb Raider.
You walking around with a, I don't know, man. I just, it just seemed fun. Like it's hard for me. Like, don't get me wrong. I know we're joking around about it, but I get the fashion. Like somebody who like for females,
So,
you know, they want something cute. I'm saying females.
What happens if it's a guy though? I mean, like, you know, not even part of it. Not even part of the alphabet. It's just a guy. It's just a guy.
Don't do it. Men,
it's just a guy who wants to have a pretty little gun because he got, whatever color car he has, he wants the gun to match his color. Like, I mean, I don't get it.
Men, don't do it.
I don't get it.
I'm saying it's men.
If you're a man, I saw a 9,
and you're on this live, do not buy a pink gun, okay? Because it's just not. I don't care. No, I don't care if you a pimp who wear pink and got a pink Cadillac. Make sure that gun ain't pink. Because I want you to think about this. I'm just saying, I want y'all to think about this. Let's just say for some reason somebody's about to rob you. Not now, the person that comes up, he comes with a 9mm or whatever, and it's a black gun. But at the moment you get a chance to pull out your pink cute little thing,
that person's
honestly, you know what? It might actually end the situation. He might start laughing so hard.
How can you take someone serious? Look, how can you take someone serious that has a colored gun? I mean, like, really? Like,
like if I pull out an AR-15 and you pull out a cute pink gun, I'm gonna be laughing so hard. You won. You won. That is, you already beat. You won. Because I'm at this point, I'm like, is that gun pink? I'm gonna put mine down. Like, wait. You got a pink gun?
I would literally have to walk away. I mean, I'll be honest. I just had to ask you that question because I saw it, and I'm like, do y'all really sell a lot of these? And they actually said they sell a lot of them. They sell a lot. They sell plenty.
All right, now, like, would you buy if your woman wanted a pink gun? Would you buy it for her?
No.
You didn't even give it a thought, Jay.
No. Black or olive drab. Those are the only 2 colors allowed. That's it.
What's that?
Olive drab.
Okay.
Because this, because of course olive drab blends well in the camouflage realm of the woods. No, I don't want no one to see it come out. And if they have to see it come out, it better be intimidating. The barrel. Look, when they look at you, I want them to see the barrel the size of your eyeball. That's my theory behind it.
Right.
If that barrel is not like that big, that looks like your eyeball, you better put it away. Because when I pull mine out, you're gonna see this, and then you're gonna see a nice little shiny thing way down inside there, in the black hole. You're gonna see something waiting to be launched. And if you play your cards right, you might see a little void in the middle. You might think it's actually an eclipse. I'm just saying.
He in there, look, it's sitting in there like, come on, launch me, launch.
Now I got a question for you. We had a talk, you and I, a few weeks ago about the gun law concept. Right. We're gonna make it a little more because now we got everybody comfortable now, and everybody was laughing. Right. Now we're gonna make it a little more serious here. We were talking about gun laws. And we was talking about how politicians, doesn't matter what side they sit on, political, gender, whatever. And we said that we know gun laws are created to hinder the law-abiding citizen.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people don't understand that when we say that or when we talk about it, how it hinders the law-abiding citizen. And with the new law that's coming out now with the concept of, if you are a felon, a incarcerated, or as they call it, charged felon, you do have the right to bear arms in certain places. right?
Right.
But you have to go through a process, which is understandable. You know,
Right.
it's only right. So this is where I believe you and I would like for us to elaborate on it again with our audience to see what they say. When we was talking about government tyranny and how if the government knows what kind of weapon you have purchased, that means it's in your possession.
Mm-hmm.
I say they should do the same thing with bullets.
Right.
You, if I remember correctly, you disagree with that.
Right.
Now, if as the audience is there and people are in the chat room, I would like to see what they believe in the chat. Do you feel bullets should be monitored as well, or bullets should not be monitored? Meaning, if you go to a gun store, and you want to buy a weapon, okay, no problem. Should that clerk or store owner say, now you have the weapon, I have to also document the bullets you buy? The white boy on the left. White boy on the left. The white boy on the left. That's his light so bright. It's all right. We understand. We're gonna get him.
We understand.
Yeah, we understand. It's all right. You come on in and say what you're gonna say. It's all right.
Yeah, make sure you hit the like button though.
Exactly. Hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, so you can
There
come
you
back
go.
and do it again another day.
Right. But yeah, like I said, to some extent, they know the bullet part, to some extent, because the way this stuff is manufactured now. You know what I'm saying? With all the UPEC scans and stuff like that, you kind of know where the stuff is going. Like they can go right. Yeah, you kind of know where the stuff is going. So even though we kind of had a different view, it's kind of already there.
Well, here's the thing that I was thinking about. I wanted to ask you about this. You know, we both have lived in some real harsh areas in our lives growing up.
Right.
And the one thing that we know growing up is that the criminals will have better weapons than what we would actually get,
right.
and so forth.
Right.
And we've seen how in a lot of neighborhoods they use the term spray. That's when they just unload a clip.
Right.
They don't know who it hit. They just know a whole bunch of them came out.
Right.
So wouldn't it be fair that as the law-abiding citizen that's paying taxes, getting creamed with laws and getting creamed with regulations on what to buy, how men to have, all these other things,
right.
Wouldn't it be fair for them to actually know who's buying the bullets in the neighborhood as well? I mean, let's look at Baltimore. You're not too far from Baltimore.
Yeah.
So in Baltimore, just recently, I was reading a story on how a guy pistol whipped a female and then shot her and a friend. And a few years ago, I think the girl just got indicted a couple of months ago. I think it was in New York or somewhere in New York or somewhere in New Jersey. The girl walked up to another girl at a party. They were all hanging outside in front of a building or in front of a bar. And she walked up to the girl. No one even noticed her. And she literally put a round in the girl's skull, killed the girl. Wow. Now, the big thing is that when you look at the law, when it goes to court, they always turn around and say, well, where's the weapon? Did you find the weapon? Sometimes the weapon doesn't even get found. So now the charge gets reduced because you don't have the actual weapon.
Right.
So there's where, for me, I find it to be wrong that if you can't follow the bullets, who bought the bullets,
right,
then if you don't find the weapon, but you know she had bought the bullets, or the guy in Baltimore had bought the bullets, they didn't buy the bullets just because they wanted to have something jingle in their pocket. They bought the bullets because they have a weapon for it. Now, could the weapon not be legal? Yeah. So why did they buy the weapon? So somehow, some way, when I hear, rather should I say, when I hear about this gun laws and we got to be, everybody's screaming and hollering, got to be stricter on gun laws. Do the same thing for the bullets, because the gun is either being stolen, because I believe you have said it in one of your segments where in certain places people know that you can't go into a certain building with your gun. So the first thing you do is you leave it in the car, and then you come back, you find your car was broken into and your gun was stolen.
Right. Yep.
So now how does that person get in trouble for that? Absolutely not.
Right.
But yet now your gun goes out and unalives another person.
Right.
Because after now they do the checks, the balances, they find out the gun was stolen, such and such. How does that person feel that they're a law-abiding citizen? They purchased the weapon the right way. Right. They did all the right avenues, and then find out several years later, or maybe a couple of weeks later, that their weapon unalived someone.
Right.
Where's the mindset to that person now?
Well, you know, this is not really the answer to your question, but going back to the statement when you said about how in those type of areas, when they notice that you can't take your firearm in certain places and do certain things there, people have a tendency to leave them in their vehicle, right?
Right.
Most places that happened into, or places like New York, Maryland, Los Angeles, California, places that have real restrictive gun law, they don't even realize that that law is the byproduct of that. Because if you say I can't go into a government facility with my firearm, now you're forcing me to leave it in my vehicle.
Right.
Now, what's up, Mike? What's going on? Now, what happens is, because people know it, the criminals know this,
right?
They already know where to case these places around, case these type of places to try to look for somebody leaving a firearm in there. Now, if you did not have these restrictions inside of buildings and stuff like that, people will always have them on their person.
Right.
That will eliminate a lot of that car theft on people going and breaking into people's car, hoping to come across something like that. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
Right. So that's where that actual law is causing that, because it's forcing people to leave their car, leave it in their vehicles and stuff like that. Like, certain jobs you can't bring your firearm. You got, what I mean. So you actually creating an atmosphere for a thief that knows these type of things. And if I did it once and I came up with a firearm and legally, stole somebody's firearm, well, say, oh, well, let me just try another facility. Let me keep moving around, keep following. Right. And if you do that enough and you collect enough of them, then you're selling them on the black market.
Right.
And it becomes a vicious cycle. So where they think that these laws are actually helping, they're actually creating the atmosphere
for
these people to do what they're actually doing. And I don't think they think these things through when they try to put these into play. Now, as it relates to the bullet, now this is something that I think will probably be a little bit more, which some companies actually already do this. We know we know that if you fire a gun, right? Once that projectile comes through there, there's land and groove marks that the gun creates. Now, what I think that they should do is maybe not so much track the bullets, but every gun that is manufactured, get one out and store that data, right?
Okay.
Tie that land and groove mark to a firearm.
Right.
Now, if you come across the bullet without the firearm and you go into a database that have those land and grooves, and just like the fingerprint, the same system.
Right.
Now you can say, okay, that groove mark was to this register, this firearm with these serial numbers.
Okay.
This is the way I would look at it. These serial numbers match this bullet.
Okay.
Because the manufacturer fired one, and that's where you got that information at. Now, let's say you come across that firearm. You don't have the actual firearm, but you have a record of the land and groove marks because you have the fingerprint of the bullet, which has the fingerprint of the barrel.
Okay.
Now, let's say you come across a murder. You have the bullet, but you don't have the firearm.
Right.
You take the bullet into the database and try to lit the system to match it up with those land and grooves. Once you match it up with the bullet, it will tell you what firearm it was fired through.
Right.
It will give, because all firearms have, a serial number.
Right.
It'll tell you what serial number. So now they will have the firearm that it was fired through.
Right.
Now, let's say I purchased that firearm.
Right.
Now, if I'm a suspect in that murder,
right,
and they got all the other evidence,
right,
they also gonna have my fingerprint there because
right,
the bullet fingerprint saying that firearm. But they also know what firearm. So if they ever come across that firearm, they'll know what firearm they actually looking for.
You're right. Now, with that being said, there is already a system exactly.
I know they do have that there, yeah.
Right. It's already there and it's already functioning. Okay.
Right.
And that is how they know how a gun or a weapon was used with multiple unliving of individuals.
Right.
Because they look at the striations of the actual bullet casing of when it comes out, and it is a fingerprint to a specific weapon. Now, this is why I come back and I say this: if they follow the same rules as far as when they sell a weapon or a firearm, whichever way you want to look at it, and a person comes and purchases bullets, they should do the same thing, because the striations of the weapon is not the same on every bullet, because it takes a specific bullet to be fired from a specific weapon. You cannot take a 9mm round and stick it in a 40 caliber weapon, or vice versa. It ain't gonna work. Right now, there are ways that you can take the barrel out and switch the barrel from certain weapons. That you can do. Yet the fingerprint, which is the striations inside that barrel, do not become any different when the bullet is actually fired from it. So I think where those that want to say we need stricter gun laws, regardless of they're Republican, Democrat, liberals, whatever it may be, instead of saying we need to be having stricter gun rules, stop the ruling behind the gun and make it about the bullet. Because if a person goes and buys the bullet, that person has to tell that store, that business where they're buying the bullet from, who they are, where they're from, what kind of weapon they're buying for. Because if I go and I buy 9mm shells, it's because I have a 9mm gun. If I go buy slugs for a shotgun, it says I have a shotgun. If I'm buying what you have there is the 203, or the SOCOMs. If I'm going to buy some SOCOMs, that's telling them what I have. So now, if I happen to be that individual that don't have any of them, then it lies the question of, okay, why are you buying those bullets if you don't even have those weapons? Because you're not allowed to buy those weapons. And there's no registry showing that you have any of those weapons. So why are you buying those bullets? 9 out of 10 is because you're going to sell those bullets to a person who has an illegal weapon.
Right.
So this is why I believe in saying we need stricter gun laws. We need a bullet law. That's what we need, which is where they need to monitor the bullets. Because if you have the gun, but you ain't got no bullets, the chance of you unaliving somebody is slim to none. Because we've all
with
seen
the firearm,
because again, we know how very I know, I can say this because I've experienced it. The trigger is hairline, what I call hair thin triggers. You tap it and it fires.
Right.
Okay. So as tricky as a lot of those weapons are, okay, that have that type of mechanism in the weapon, and the bullet comes out, whether it's accidental or on purpose, because we got to remember, a bullet doesn't have a name. It hits and it's over.
Right.
So I think instead of having gun laws, we should have bullet laws. Bullet laws should be restricted to, if you purchase them, we need to know who you are that's purchasing them, not the amount that you're purchasing. That I disagree with. Just to know who's purchasing them, because when you know, it's just like when they do an investigation. you know, it's in the eyes of the law, it's called guilty by association. That means if you're hanging out with a person who committed a crime, 9 out of 10 you knew about the crime, so we're going to charge you with the crime as well, right? So when they do that, give me 30 seconds. I just got to say something off mic. Just my apologies. My apologies. I had to say something off
No,
mic.
you good.
So as they have that law that says guilty by association, if you go and buy bullets and you don't have a weapon, then you're just as guilty as the person that you sold the bullet to. Because if they used a gun that didn't belong to them to unalive another individual, you should be held accountable because you participated in that person being unalive. That's how I see it, because it's just like how they say, and this is a fact. I'm not sure if it's actually in the state that you live in, but I know for a fact in New York and New Jersey, there's a law that specifically says that a bartender, listen to me carefully, a bartender sells alcohol to a person that's already drunk, meaning that they're inebriated, that they don't know what the hell's going on, and they continue selling the alcohol to that person. That person goes and drives their car and kills somebody. The bartender is just as liable and just can be charged the same as the person that drove the car.
So yeah, I know about the law. I don't agree with it, but I know.
But think about it. Think about it okay, try this on opposite sides. We've heard this not time and time again. A child winds up unaliving themselves because they played with the gun that didn't belong to the homeowner or the person.
Oh no, I get it. But I get that part. But the only reason why I say that is because I think as an adult you should be responsible. And if you in a bar, you drinking, I'm in the bar to make, and I get that part of it, and I understand where people go with that. But I think that the problem is that we start trying to hold more people accountable for somebody else's behavior. I'm a bartender. My job is to sell liquor, sell bar, make money, right? If you drinking that much in my bar, there is a moral aspect of it to say I'm not selling you no more liquor.
Okay.
But again, where do you draw the line of, well, he wasn't that drunk before he left here? You get what I'm saying?
The rule of thumb is after the fourth drink and you see that they're slurring up the speech.
So now,
let's give him anymore.
Let's say he looks fine when he walks out the door. But you know that sometimes alcohol kicks in a little worse later. And then we know that other people handle alcohol on different levels. Like some people can drink a lot and they seem to be fine.
Right.
Some people, like I give you an example. My father, I would have rather driven in the car when he was drinking than not.
Wow.
Kid you not. When my father's regular and he didn't drink, and I know this seemed weird, but he seemed like when he drank, he was a lot more focused and alert. Okay. And he wasn't trying to run everybody off the road. But when he wasn't drinking and I'm in the car with him, I'm like, man, Dad, let me just drive. I'm like, we both.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? But so I don't know. Like I said, I kind of get the reasoning behind it, but it's always that slippery slope of You know what I'm saying? Like I get the reason behind it. Like I think there's a moral aspect that the bartender should say, no, I'm not selling you no more alcohol. You tore up, you drunk. No. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the other side of it is that what if they like I don't like let's say I sold him 3 drinks or 2 drinks. Right. And he goes out in his car, he got more stuff in the car.
Right.
And he starts drinking some more in the car.
Right.
So it's like where do you like I get that moral aspect of it, but the bartender got a bunch of people around him that they serving drinks and stuff.
Right.
I can't monitor one person, and then who's to say somebody else bought him a drink and gave him the drink, and somebody else bought him a drink. So that's where I said is I get the moral aspect of it, but I think there's a slippery slope because that bartender can be held accountable for something. He could be totally innocent. He could have been What if there's a bar shift change where the first tender gave one drink or two, and then somebody else came in and they shift change, and this person is serving? Maybe what if there's 3 or 4 more bartenders and they don't even know?
Well, you're right.
Right.
You're
So
absolutely
that's
right.
why I get it, and I think that there is a moral aspect to the bartender in the bar that they should say, listen, we don't. If you see somebody look like they drinking too much, shut them down. Don't sell them nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I get that part. Holding them accountable for something that happens after they left the bar is the part that I have to disagree, because there's too many
variables
in there. Now, if there's a situation where you can see clearly, like here's the point. Let's say there's just one bartender.
Right.
And he's watching this person get drunk.
Right.
And you got video of this bartender keep serving them drink after drink after drink, knowing he's falling all over the place.
Right.
In that situation, then I can say, yeah, you're responsible, because you see what we was going, where this went at, and you see how much this dude was drinking. You got him so drunk to the point where you had to help him to the car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Then I get that part.
Okay. So let me jump in there real quick.
Yeah.
So let's tie that same concept of what you just spoke of,
right,
and relate that to weapons. So now it's a store owner that their business is selling weapons, from pea shooters to cannons, let's just say. And you get the same. And again, we're not stereotyping anybody on the show. We're not stereotyping.
You know.
But you keep getting Ray coming in every month or every 3 days, buying a shitload of different bullets. But Ray don't have the legitimacy to own a weapon.
Now, my thing is this: if you know that a person is not lawfully supposed to own a weapon, you shouldn't be selling them bullets.
Now where I'm not now, now
let's
you
know. Like here's my point to that. And let's say I came in to purchase a firearm. I give you a prime example. One time we went to the range, and somebody was getting ready to purchase a firearm. Now, they didn't have a felony, right? That wasn't the case. But because of their marijuana card, they weren't allowed to buy a firearm.
I can see that.
Now, I disagree with it, but this is what happened. To the point where they actually had to put them out of the facility and off of even the parking lot. They said you can't be within a certain. Now this is the state of Pennsylvania where this is at. Right now, again, I disagree with it, because I don't think a person that smokes marijuana is a danger to anybody.
Shit.
Now drugs, different story. I'm talking about a person that actually smokes regular marijuana. I'm not talking about that stuff they keep lacing up and stuff. Most of the people that I've seen smoke marijuana, they might have thought about hurting somebody, but they didn't call it the peace pipe for nothing. But anyway.
They didn't call it a peace pipe for nothing. Yet the problem is that when you look at it from the eyes of the law, you cannot differentiate marijuana from trash marijuana. You really can't. Because if you look at the person and the person is inebriated, meaning they're under the influence of something, that is even why many times law enforcement officers, when they do car stops, and the person gets charged with intoxication, it's because they don't know what caused the intoxication, whether it was marijuana, whether it was alcohol, whether it was a prescribed drug, or even over-the-counter drug. It's something that made them inebriated to the functioning of driving a car. So now you put a weapon in someone's hands that has the same criteria.
Now
you're looking for
I'm not saying that they were smoking marijuana. They wasn't smoking it. It's just because they had the card.
Oh, so that was a stereotype. They thought that the person had a marijuana card, smokes.
No, what happened was, again, in the state of Pennsylvania, they threw that law in there and nobody knew.
But now, see,
people start finding out later that if you had a marijuana card, you weren't allowed to own a firearm. This is where I remember me and you was talking about the mental stuff, right? It kind of falls in line with that. And I said, I have to disagree because I know how the government will use that as a form of tyranny.
Okay.
So what they did was they said if you own, because when people go get a marijuana card, they say they got what? Mental issues.
True.
So now they don't want you to be able to have a firearm because they're saying you have mental issues.
Right.
All right. So now that's if you have a marijuana card, right? But do the person that smoke marijuana really have a mental issue? Some people that have it's a physical issue for some people.
Right. I see that.
Right. Yeah. And then there's other people that had like cancer victims. They say it helps with their cancer.
Right.
They, people that have what they call glaucoma or whatever, they say they help with that. Right. And it's not always a mental issue that people have it. It's sometimes medical wise, it's pain relief for some people. All right, so y'all threw a law in there to restrict people from being able to purchase a firearm based on the fact that they own that because they have a marijuana card. To me, that's where the overreach came in already, because now you're telling me not that I'm high in the moment, and nothing to do with that.
Right.
You're telling me that I don't have the right to purchase a firearm to protect my home or protect me in any situation because I have a marijuana card.
Right.
As opposed to saying, you see what I'm saying? Like they lump everybody that have a marijuana card into one category and say none of them can have a firearm. That's the tyranny part that I was talking about. Yeah. Was that then now they use a slick way to decide the way to restrict your rights and keep it on. Again, it's not about criminals. I never talk about the criminal aspect because I don't look at it from a criminal perspective. I look at it from government tyranny. That's a different ballgame. Yeah. If I'm looking at it from criminals, okay, I don't need a powerful weapon. I just need something to compete with the criminals on the street. I never look at it that way. I look at what the government has. And I want access to that because that's what the Constitution says. The right to keep and bear arms against government tyranny. So if the government can become tyrannical to me, how can I compete with that if you're limiting my ability, you're limiting what I have access to, but yet giving the government access to everything?
Right.
That's why I look at it. I don't look at it from a criminal perspective. That's different. I look at it from what the Constitution says and what government has. If y'all have it, I should have it. If y'all can buy it, I should be able to buy it. You're taking my money and making this stuff and building this stuff and buying this stuff, but I can't take my money and buy the same thing. We elected y'all.
Right. Now, I don't foresee that you're not allowed to buy it.
Well, they ban automatic weapons. I don't want one.
Because here's again, we go back to the hairline trigger.
Right.
You get a weapon that has a very sensitive trigger and an automatic. That's why the switch with a lot of these individuals that think they know what they're doing, they apply that switch to a weapon. Mm-hmm. They don't even know how to handle the weapon. That's why the first one comes out, but by the time whatever the magazine is holding, by the time it gets to that last one, what you were trying to hit is not even hit.
First of all, you don't have no control over it.
That's why there has to be some type of control. But see, the control is going into the fact of the wrong avenue, like you said a moment ago. The laws are created in a way that you cannot buy certain items. That's not true, because in other parts of the world, whatever the hell you want, you got the money, you can buy it. Yeah. I mean, I know I've seen it time and time again. People like back home, my country, in the Dominican Republic, whatever the government has, whoever has the money can get the same kind of weapon, whether it's a tank, whether it's tank killer.
So you
A
think
helicopter
in
takedown.
America, if you had money to go buy you a tank, you don't think the government gonna try to stop you?
They're gonna try, but they're not able to, because again, it comes back to government tyranny, which is coming back to you have the right to bear arms. There's no limitation on what arm you can obtain. There's a limit on how many you can have.
The slick move that they're gonna say is that it's not road worthy.
It's not supposed to be roadworthy. It's supposed to sit in front of your house. That's what it's for. It's to sit in front of your house. So when something or someone comes to your house, to your property, you take out this dang on shell that's the freaking size of your car, and you just obliterate whatever's there. It comes back to beep beep. The road runner and the wolf.
Right.
It's the way it is. But
make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it. Question. All right. If you had the money,
go ahead.
Would you buy a tank?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not without. Absolutely. Now, would it be wise to have one? Absolutely not, because by the time that damn barrel comes around, it's already over. It's more of the intimidating factor
and then
that it sits there, okay,
right.
Which is a great part, because if you crazy enough to come up to someone's property and they got a tank sitting in the middle of the driveway, a functioning one at that, yeah, you ain't wrapped too tight, straight up. Okay, and it's a fact. You ain't wrapped too tight. So, I tell you one that I would, if I had the money, I would love to have. I would like to have that damn helicopter that shoots the freaking, there's a bullet that's about this dang on big. I forgot the name of it, but that motherfucker, hell stinking in. Or even the one they call the what they call it? They call the firefighter. They call the firefighter. What the hell do they call that damn thing? Now you gotta make me look for that damn thing. I'm gonna have to look for that dang on thing. Hold on, because this is something serious here. Not the anti-tank killer. No, not that one. Where's my thing at? Let me hold on. Because this bad boy, jeez. All right, it looks like a minigun, but it's not. It's not a minigun. It's the. Here it is. Hold on. I'm gonna share this with you, because I forgot the name of this one. But this. If I had the money, this is what I would get, straight up. So before we show that video, let's answer this question here. 54%. Brother Ron is bounced. Oh my goodness gracious. 54% of U.S. citizens between the ages of 16 and 74 cannot read above the 6th grade reading level, according to the U.S. Department of Education. In the UK, it's 18%, which is below 21% of who are illiterate. What's the difference between being illiterate and reading at a 6th grade level? As much as you want to answer that question, you kind of answer that question with your first statement. 54% versus 18% for below 21%. You kind of answer that own question, and that's because the vast amount of people are so focused on using their cell phones and technology versus their own brain. Right. So that's the reason why the point of illiterate is there, and reading at a 6th grade level is because the majority of people have a device that's reading for them, so they don't use the cognitive skills anymore. So let's look at that factor based off of your statement, Kaylin. You got to try to understand what is the reason that they put these numbers up there. Yet,
Right.
why is it that you're creating the devices and allowing people to utilize the devices, even down to inside the schools they use the devices? So now, when you look at why is that a point of who's the illiterate versus the one who can read, they're both in the same paradigm, because even though they're reading off of an electronic device, which is not allowing the cognitive function of their brain to function, and that is what's actually making them illiterate.
Right.
So let's understand what you're questioning, and what your statement is. You're putting an apple, rather you're putting a horse in front of you're putting a carriage in front of a horse, which is fine, but you already have the answers to that question. So moving on to what, as we talk at Fire on Friday,
Right.
this would be one that if I had the money, I would love to have this one. Listen. Look here.
How much is it?
I'm just saying. If I had that, look, I don't care if it took me 12 minutes to get from the ground up high enough. I don't care about that, because your little pea shooter ain't gonna do nothing. I don't care if you got yourself an M50, a SIG M50, a 50 cal, a $225,000 freaking. No, the moment it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. If just one hits you, there is nothing left of you. Matter of fact, if one just hits you 20 feet from where you standing, still nothing left of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like fun.
What? What? That made me pee in my pants from excitement.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I would. I mean, if I had the money, I would buy one. But thing is, you never get to use it.
Well, it's not the point of using it. It's the point of intimidating others that may come close to you enough to see it.
Yeah.
Because again, if you hear that, you know that you are not going anywhere near whatever it was that was shooting. You don't want to be nowhere near it.
I don't want no parts of it.
Yeah,
you apologizing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry.
I'm at the wrong. I'm at the wrong state, the wrong town, the wrong county.
Yo, could you imagine that though? Like you get into an argument with somebody, and let's say you pull out the paint gun, and they be like, "You know what? I'll be back. And then you like, "All right, whatever. I ain't worrying about it." Next thing you know, they come back with a Apache helicopter.
Shit.
And you be like, "Holy snap!"
Or better yet, because this is one of the greatest things about the Apache helicopter. Because again, I don't remember the name of that damn cannon that sits on the bottom of that summer gun. If you getting robbed, all right, this is where electronics comes into joy at. If you getting robbed by somebody that has a pink gun, a pink 9mm in front of you, and you tap the side of your forehead, and all of a sudden the shades come down, and all of a sudden you hear it above your head, yeah.
Like,
and everywhere you look, all you see is a big giant red dot, and you stand there like this. Okay, I do nothing. I got $5. $5 all I don't give you $5. You follow me home, I give you $5 extra. No, right. That's it. But you got this big red dot sitting in the middle of your chest, and you trying to figure out what the hell that is. And I got a shield in front of my face like this, looking like Ant like the Bug with a big old goggle like this. Boy, you ain't running. You ain't look. You better. It's gonna be a moment of famous dust.
That's it.
Hey,
I would love to be able to, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind having that. I would love to have an Apache helicopter. I would love to have a tank. I mean, I know we don't live in a world where we feel like we need those things.
Shit.
But
I disagree.
Because you know, people always say to me like, "Why you want a 50 cal so bad?"
Look, if I too like 50 cal. I too want one. I honestly would tell you, I really would want one myself. Because again, we're talking about the intimidating factor concept. You come at me and I pull out this freaking thing that's half the body of a midget and pick it up like this, because it's like lifting an elephant's trunk. You gotta lift that joker like this, and you see this rectangular box sitting at you like this with a hole like this big.
It's just one guy I follow. It's just one guy I follow, and he has a 50. He don't have the semi. He has like a 50 collar, but he does it like different, and he upgrade till he get to that,
right?
To see what the 50 caliber would go through. Like he'll use handguns and stuff like that, man. And
I think I follow the same guy.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the stuff that is a white guy, but he's hilarious. Like the one time he did this video, he was talking about something, and he was like, "Oh, I need more ammunition," and he acted like he was calling somebody, and just so happened they didn't pull somebody. The guy was like, "Well, whatever." Then they pulled up and actually a helicopter to deliver him some more. And the guy was like, "Oh, you full of crap! Ain't nobody coming no helicopter." And he kept acting like, and then eventually a helicopter came for real and landed and brought him more, because he brought him more 50 caliber shells and got back, and then he was like, "Oh, dang." Like, but I mean, I know they took the video for humor's sakes, but man, it was funny as hell. But I love watching his videos, man, because he's funny.
Right.
But you don't know, like I never shot a 50 cal. I know Dover dogs. Most people probably in the military probably did at some level or whatever. But Dover dogs.
Very rare though. It's very rare. Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare.
He said he shot one. I never shot one before. The highest caliber rifle I ever shot was actually the 458 SOCOM, which is what I own. Which is a fatter bullet than a 308.
Right.
The bullet is fat. The actual bullet, like it's not like a 308.
The size of my fingers, both my fingers put together, I think it is.
Yeah, it's maybe not that fat, but if you think of it's like a 308 is more. It's not really fat. The shell is big, but the 308 bullet, it's not really fat.
It's stubby. The actual bullet is the stub.
Yeah.
The casing is much more wider. Yeah.
So it's like right. So, but with the SOCOM, imagine the bullet being the size of the casing.
Listen, if I imagine that, I want one.
Right. Don't get me wrong. You have a shooter. If you haven't shot one, you're gonna like it.
Well, I have.
You have?
Yeah. The wife and I, we went to a shooting range many years ago, and they had 3 different kinds of weapons that I really, really want my hands on. Unfortunately, yeah. One of them was sick. It was sick.
But the 50 caliber.
The 50 cal, believe it or not, back in the day, before when the 50 cal first came out, it was called the anti-tank killer. That's what it was called. It was called a tank killer.
Because it goes through steel.
Right. That's what they designed it for. They designed it to actually go through tanks.
Yeah.
And of course, then over the course of years, they started changing the name to the 50 cal. But it was always a tank killer.
Right.
That's why they used it so many times. Matter of fact, if there's very few law enforcement departments that actually have 1 or 2 qualified individuals to fire a 50 cal. I know in California, I think it's Los Angeles, they have 2 people who are qualified to fire a 50 cal.
Yeah, man. Because the distance on them things, man, is ridiculous.
And it's not so much the distance, it's the damage that it does for what you're going to hit. So you really have to know what it is that you're going to hit.
Yeah, it's like the downside to a 458 SOCOM compared to a 308. 308s, if you're trying to get a lot of distance, it's better to use a 308 than the SOCOM, because what happens with that SOCOM bullet over a certain distance, the weight of the bullet starts to
Yeah,
taper
it's
down faster. Yeah.
air drag. The air drag kills it.
But it still has
Hey, listen, I appreciate someone telling somebody else off in the chat. Why not? It's a beautiful thing.
make sure you hit the like button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button too. So
Yes.
we can invite you to tell everybody else off too.
Mhm.
That doesn't know how to do things. Now,
Yeah,
if we had to talk about the AR-15, what is your take behind the AR-15 versus the M16?
I think most people, the AR-15 became so popular because of its in the interchangeable aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to break down.
Okay.
It's very universal when it comes to like all of the stuff that you could do with it, change it, different parts you could put on it, and so much you can do with the AR-15 aesthetically. And it just like it was, you know how they say, it's one of those things that became popular because it was so universal. Like it was,
Right.
You got the base part. You can change the barrel. You can change the cages. You can do so many different things with them. I think that's what made the AR-15 so popular. I don't think that it's better. I just think it became so extremely popular because of the universal aspect of it. It's just
okay.
I don't think it's when you like if you had like I like AR-15s. I like them. Like I like them a lot. But I like them because of that reason, the aesthetics. I learned a lot with like even the two that's behind me. The 5.56. I don't have a scope. That ain't a scope. That's just a red dot, green dot.
Right.
Inside the what that scope is. It's not really an actual zoom in scope. It's just red dot. And you can switch it from red to green.
Right.
So it allows you to use both different colors. So if you got something that you're trying to look at that's closer to a green color, you can switch it to a red color so it stands out more.
Right.
I hate it. Like I literally hate it.
Now, if for me, my preference over AR-15 and M16, I'll take an M16 any day. I don't look for a diversity in a weapon. I don't.
Right.
Okay. I don't care if the barrel can get interchanged. I don't care if the hand grip can become different. But I don't care about none of that. I need to make sure that whatever I aim at, I hit it and it doesn't get back up.
Right.
That's all that matters to me.
And don't get me wrong, it's good for that too. But I think what made it so popular, I just think what made it so popular is that reason. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying.
Rugged is absolutely right. As I try to, even though I should be just put my glasses on, they right with that statement. That is actually a true statement. 3-round burst automatic. Yep. That's correct. I like better the M16. Me personally, I don't know why. I just like it better. I believe that the functionality is much more simplified for what the use is, and I think that's what the reason is. Now, if we went with if we was real quick, let's see, we're getting close to our time frame.
Okay.
Pistols, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you prefer a six barrel, 8 barrel, or a magazine?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It all depends. Like I prefer longer barrels because they're more accurate.
Okay.
I just by experience, I noticed that like when you get a snub nose gun that don't have much of a barrel limb, you're not gonna get a whole lot of I think you sacrifice the accuracy of it. But the problem with that is the bigger the gun, the harder it is to conceal.
This is also true, and there's a
Right.
reason why the snub nose was made. I'm gonna come back to that if I can.
Right. So it's like, for me, I would prefer a longer barrel because I'm a rifle person in general. I like rifles. I like longer barrels. I like them for their accuracy. But if it was a matter of concealing, that's where it kind of changes the dynamics. But if it's just for the sake of buying a gun that had nothing to do with conceal, yeah, I would want a longer barrel.
Okay. Well, the snub nose, unfortunately, the snub nose was actually created for law enforcement, believe it or not. Because the very first one that had a small gun, of course, was the Dillinger, which was the 22. The 22 Dillinger was the first small gun that they created, if I remember correctly. And I could be wrong. But I remember, I believe, I'm like 80% sure it was a Dillinger, which had a 2-shot. And that was, they made that because of the women in the speakeasies, they needed something to protect themselves with. So they made that Dillinger for them. Now, when you talk about a snub nose, there was actually a 32 caliber 2-inch snub nose pistol that was made by Smith & Wesson many, many years ago. Okay. And it was made because of the police department. Back in the early 40s and 50s, they wanted to hide something in their ankles, hence the reason why they called it the ankle shooter, right? Now, of course, across the years, they started making the barrels a little bit longer. They started making 6-inch, 8-inch, and of course, the famous Dirty Harry, I think it was a 12-inch barrel, because I know I had a freaking 12-inch on mine. So, yeah, I had a 12-inch, 357.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah.
Yeah, my brother used to have one. He had a chrome one.
Mine was chrome with a wooden handle.
Man, that thing was pretty.
Man, that thing was heavy.
Yeah, that too. That too, but yeah, that was a beautiful gun.
Listen, it was. Again,
I don't even like. I don't really care for revolvers at all.
I think having a revolver is much more for accuracy than it is an automatic or a semi-automatic pistol, because if you can hit the bullseye, the outer side of the bullseye, with this using a regular pistol, what I call regular, is much more better than an automatic. And that's because you have more control, because you're forcing yourself to hold that kickback down. Because we all know about the hand, about how the position of your thumbs and the position of your web of your hand, which a lot of people make that mistake. The web is the one that gets caught most inside a pistol, okay, versus a kickback on a pistol. So the kickback, so when you force yourself to learn how to hold a kickback pistol, nothing else matters. It really doesn't. So I always would tell somebody to get a revolver first before they get a semi-automatic pistol. That's just my take.
First time I ever shot a gun, it was a revolver, but it was all right. But I'm like the reason why I own pistols is because of the amount of rounds, more so than anything.
Remember, 13-round clip versus a 6-shooter or an 8-shooter, because there is an 8-shooter. As long as you know how to use the sights on that revolver, you're much more better using a revolver than you are using an automatic.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think revolvers are better guns overall. I mean, even if you're a criminal, I think revolvers are better because it don't leave evidence. You take the gun, you take everything with you.
You take all the evidence, you take the fingerprint with you.
Right. Yeah, you take everything with you. But I don't I just don't like them.
Look, I've always liked the 32 caliber. Always. Right. 32 caliber was always my favorite next to the Beretta, because the Beretta, of course, that's one that I don't care who. And my bad, the M11 Colt. Those three pistols are my favorite pistols. And even to how they make them now is not the same as the originals, because they just don't, to me, they don't function the same. Because I don't ever recall the M11 getting jammed, most of my life. and the and a revolver, 6-shooter. Again, I cannot see two slugs coming in together at the same time. It ain't happening because the chamber's got to move in order for that to happen.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think they put the level of care and quality in firearms like they used to, and I think that's what's happening is that they keep testing the boundaries of. They're testing the boundaries of what how much more metal we can sacrifice.
which is true. That's true. I'll agree to that. I'll agree to that 100%.
Yeah.
And that's just for me. And again, another day we'll talk about long barrels. Because we touched the base about shotguns, and I know we both have them.
Right.
So
what you talking about? I ain't got no shotgun. Yeah, I like that.
I seen that little pre-market that you got recently.
Yeah, I like that sucker too, man. We'll talk about that. Like, I really do like that gun.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. But unfortunately, Ron, I got to go. I have.
All right, no problem. I do too. I need to go to bed. That's my bedtime.
It's always a wonderful time having this gun talk
here,
with you and weapons talk, or what we call them Firearm Fridays now.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to more episodes. Hopefully, we get some more engagement. And try to reach out to that buddy of yours that went to the fire.
Justice runs on diesel.
Yeah, let's get some feedback from another person who's into guns,
right.
Even if it's in the chat room. To get their point of view on certain weapons that we'll talk about. And right. I'm looking forward to every collaboration that we do, as always. And unfortunately, tonight is just a night that I have to get some other things taken care of. That's why I got.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I got. Me and you talked before we started. I said, man, I'm tired.
I get it. You put a toll on you. Long day for you.
Yeah.
All right, brother Ron.
All right, brother.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks everybody for joining in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate y'all very, very much. And like always, I always say, make sure you have a relationship with God. That's more important. Especially if somebody pointing at a gun with you. You want to make sure you're good. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. We out of here. Peace.
Fellas, ladies, you're looking for lotions, you're looking for beard oils, but unfortunately everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.